There's always a lesson or two or few that you can learn from someone's situation. Always. No matter big, small, tall, short, it's always a lesson you can learn. And if you know anything about me, since 2016, I've been putting up information on this channel, helping student athletes both on and off the court or in and out their sport be the very best they can be. And in doing so, you have to learn from those that have done it before you. Sometimes it's me. I can tell about my story. I can tell you how I failed the 6th grade, 8th grade special education classes, walked on my first year, and then got a scholarship every year after that. Or it could be a story of some of the people that I've interviewed, right? Because there's other stories as well. But every once in a while, I get fortunate enough to see something on TV, and I'm like, you know what? I would love to provide some advice based off that story that can help student athletes. Today, we're going to talk about Draymond Green. We're going to talk about some of the things that he's been going through. Speak about it in a way that I just want to help you. That's it. We're not trying to shame anyone. We're not trying to bash anyone. We have no bones to pick on anybody's career. We just want to make sure that you get the advice you need as a student athlete to be the very best you can be. Hoop loud. Now, if you're not familiar, Draymond Green is a superstar of player, heralding from Michigan State by way of Saginaw, Michigan, and he plays for Golden State. Plays for Golden State, phenomenal player, energy guy, workhorse, intensity, team player, does the little things, does the big things. Like, he's just a phenomenal player. Let's just leave it there. He's a phenomenal player, right? But as of recently, it seems like he's having a habit of on-court antics that cause doubt in people's eyes of if that person should be in that position moving forward. They had a situation that it looks like he was, I don't want to use any inflammatory vocabulary to exaggerate the situation, but he had his arm around someone's neck. How about that? And then he elbowed someone, right? And then this is also, in addition to other things that's been happening in previous seasons, where seemingly someone could say that's a dirty play that he made. I still think there's some lessons you want to learn. And the first thing is this: your actions impact more than just yourself. It impacts your family, right? It impacts your teammates. It impacts the workload of your teammates, what they have to do. It impacts the team as it relates to coaching style and what they have to adapt to in your absence. It impacts everyone. So a lot of times people are just looking at, oh, okay, what am I going to get as far as suspended? What am I going to get as far as potentially losing the scholarship? What's going to happen to me as it relates to potential losing money? And those are fair. Those are things that those are fair concerns, but I need you to understand that this game is bigger than you. I need you to understand that your actions, whether it's on the court or off, will impact those around you. And I think that once you have that in your mind, once you can think about that in its totality, then you will make more rational decisions and say, you know what, is this going to be really worth the impact that it's going to have on my family, have on my coach, have on my team, have on the NIL deals that I could potentially get in the future, the partnerships, the relationships, my education. There are other things beyond just me personally that's going to impact, and I need you to understand that that's a real thing. Number two, the second thing I want you to learn from this whole Draymond Green situation is understanding that a bad reputation spreads a lot faster than a good one. For whatever reason, everyone wants to put their opinion about why he did this, what he did, all this stuff. They have no idea. They haven't talked to him, but that bad reputation spreads. Your bad reputation will spread a lot faster than if you had a good reputation. So understand that ultimately means it has more damage. That ultimately means that it potentially has the ability to have more damage on your career. So understand that this is like a wildfire. You want to get in front of this. You want to make sure you get it taken care of and contained when it's just, when it's smaller. Once it gets out of control, it's hard, if not impossible, to get it back in once you have a bad reputation. And I don't think Draymond Green is there just yet. I think that him being a champion kind of supersedes some of these things. That's why we're even having this discussion. But we'll get into that we'll get into that a little bit later. But understanding that, it's going to spread a lot further and it's going to potentially hurt you moving forward. The third thing I would say is when I was in college, my coach told me something about trust. He said, everyone comes in here with a full sheet of trust. But when you do something like something that erodes someone's trust, you take a piece of paper off. And though you can glue it, you can tape it, you can press it together, you find out really quickly that it'll never be like it was originally. Now, I bring this up when it comes to Draymond Green because the more and more situations that he gets himself into on the court that relates to elbowing somebody, putting his arm around someone's neck, pushing someone, hitting someone in the groin area, all that stuff, he has all these tears in his reputation. He has all these tears of trust that we're going to trust him to be in this situation, and we're not going to worry about it. We know that he's going to, more times than not, he's going to do the right thing. He's going to do the best thing for the team. And now, unfortunately, those things are in question. It's the same thing with you and your career, whether it be in high school and college. You want to limit the amount of tears that you get because it's never going to be the same afterwards. You can tape it, you can glue it, you can do whatever you want to do. It's never going to be the same from the outside looking in, the optics of people viewing you. And 99.9% of people that have opinions about you, you'll never talk to. They're only looking at you from afar. And you got to ask yourself, what are they seeing when they're looking from afar? Now, some of you may say, well, I ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't care. I'm just worried about me. Bull crap. Okay? Bull crap. You need to be worried about this because at the end of the day, these are potential networking deals. These are potential NIL deals. These are potential career deals. These are potential things you can advance yourself in the future based off your reputation. So you gotta hold tight to your reputation. The fourth thing you can learn from Draymond Green in this situation is understanding that failure to communicate allows me to imaginate. What does that mean? That means that when you don't communicate, people fill in the blanks of what they think. They just start running their mouth about, oh, well, he did this because he's this and he doesn't like these kind of people, or he's that, he doesn't like those kind of people, or he was under the influence, he was manic, he had depression, people start filling in the blanks of things that they have no idea what they're talking about, but because you're not communicating effectively, they're going to fill in the blanks and they're going to run with it, and people are going to make stories, and people are going to get clicks, and people are going to tarnish your reputation based off of what they see and what they didn't hear. So if they don't hear you communicate, then they can kind of fill in the blank. So I use this all the time when we're speaking with student athletes, that failure to communicate allows me to imaginate. So whether that be a roommate issue, whether that be a situation with your coach you're trying to figure out, whether that be a teammate situation, communicate. Communicate, especially if you're in a compromise. You should be doing that regardless, but especially if your reputation is at stake, you want to make sure that you can communicate in a way that you can kind of speak in the gaps of it, because somebody's going to fill it in. Now, the fifth thing you can learn from Draymond Green is something that no one will ever say out loud, but it's a thing. The only reason we're even talking about Draymond Green is because he's a star player. He is a star player. There are other people on that bench that there are not star players. They may be star players in the future, but they're not star players now. And they're not going to get this much attention. They're not going to get this much grace. They're not going to get this level of understanding when it comes to them. Because at the end of the day, this is a performance-based activity, whether it be basketball or any other sport. And the fact of the matter is, when you're at the top like that, they're more lenient. I can remember myself being a red shirt coming in college. Listen, I didn't have any wiggle room to not go to class. I didn't have any wiggle room to be late for practice. I had no wiggle room to be making mistakes in the games or in practice. Well, I wasn't in the games because I was redshirting. But you understand what I mean. There's no wiggle room for you. And I'm not trying to give you a woe is me speech, but you need to be aware of what's going on here. So if you, in your wildest dreams, think you can pull half of this foolishness that Draymond Green is going through, you can do that, and you're not a star player, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You're going to receive an early exit. Draymond Green is so big in the NBA that the story almost spinned. Like, it was like, well, he's thinking about retiring. And the commissioner, allegedly, I don't know, I wasn't there, but the commissioner was like, well, let's talk about this. You think Jerome Robinson right now, that just getting his start on his career, the Golden State Warriors, you think if he went in there and talked to the commissioner about, I think I'm going to retire, somebody's going to try to talk him out of it? No, because he's not a champion. Not yet. He just got started. You understand? Draymond can get away with this because he's a certified champion. Year after year, he's won. So you got to respect that. So I need you to just understand from this situation that if you're not that guy, if you're not that girl, and you try to pull a stunt like this, you will see an early exit. No ifs, ands, buts about it. And that leads on to my last tip is this. The last thing I want you to learn from this is this game will go on without you. This game will go on without you, for sure. This whole idea that, the game stops for you. I mean, even with Draymond Green, games are still played without him. Once he gets done, once he does retire, whether that's now or later, the game will go on without them. The game will go on without him. Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, the game will go on without them. So understand that you have an opportunity of a lifetime to expand, to leverage, to create opportunities right now in this hot space right now. You have opportunity. That opportunity won't be always. The minute you graduate, because you're going to graduate, the minute you graduate, all these people that's trying to help you, let me, that's going to cut out. That's going to cut out, okay? Sounds good right now. You don't see it now, but take my word for it. The moment that jersey comes off for the last time, there's going to be some people that don't know your name. They'll forget your name just like that because there's always a new class coming in. All right? So understand that you have a moment of a lifetime. Don't screw it up by doing antics that may jeopardize your opportunity. Don't screw it up by not taking advantage of this and really leveraging this. Don't screw it up by thinking it's always going to be just like this. Listen, there's always things you can learn, and I'm hoping that this story about Draymond Green can help you on your journey, whether it be in high school or in college, to be the very best you can be, both in your sport and out. And as always, whether it's on the court or off, in the classroom, out, graduate at the top of your class. Hoop Loudy.